Is structure of human eye. When we talk about human eye, this type of diagram comes in our mind. Now let's first discuss this diagram. Here you see eyebrow is there. That black line just above the eye is the eyebrow, and this eyelid act as a shutter for the eye. It protect the eye from the shocks, injuries and bright light. And the hairs, these small hairs are eyelashes. They protect the eyes from the entry of dust particles. And here you can see round eyeball, and this colored part in this eyeball is the iris. It may be black, grey or blue in some cases. So you can see very small aperture in this iris. That small hole is known as pupil. Now let's study this whole structure in detail. So we can say human eye is a light sensitive organ which enables us to see the beautiful world around us. Now we have seen very simple diagram of eye. Now let's study very complex structure behind that eye in detail. So there are the three layers. In human eye. First layer is the sclera, second layer is choroid, and innermost layer is retina. First, about the sclera, it is the outermost covering and it is made of very hard, tough fibrous tissue, and it protects, being hard, so it will protect the whole eye from the injuries. Second layer is a pigmented layer. So this pigmented layer is richly supplied with blood. So it will provide nourishment to this very sensitive layer, that is retina, and it will also prevent being pigmented, so it will prevent any kind of internal reflections. Third layer is the retina. It is innermost very delicate membrane, and it is a layer where image formation will take place. So it provides the screen for the formation of image, and it contains photosensitive cells. Two types of photosensitive cell, rods and cones. Rods are sensitive to intensity of light and cones are sensitive to color. And this bulge part is known as the cornea, and it is the transparent. Through this light can enter inside the eye. And here you can see this part you can see this is the iris. It provides color to the eye. And in some cases, I told earlier also, it is black, in some cases it is grey or sometimes blue, maybe blue. Its another function is to regulate the amount of light entering the eye by adjusting the size of pupil. For example, when light is very dim, this iris will expand and the pupil become dilated, and more light can enter inside the eye. And if light is bright, these iris muscles contracts and pupil become small in size, and little light will enter inside the eye. Just behind iris, there are ciliary muscles. These ciliary muscles hold this eye lens at its proper place with the help of these small suspensory ligaments. So what is the role of the ciliary muscles? It adjusts the focal length of this lens to see nearby and far objects. Suppose we want to see nearby objects, then this ciliary muscles will contract and the lens become thicker, and now it can bend the light more and we can see nearby objects. If we want to see far objects, then these ciliary muscles get relaxed and the lens will become thinner and we can see far objects. So ciliary muscles help to adjust the focal length of this lens, and this lens is elastic in nature. We can adjust its focal length, we can make it thicker, we can make it thinner to see the objects. So another part here, between the cornea and the eye lens there is some watery liquid is here, that is known as the aqueous humor. And here between the lens and retina there is another jelly like liquid known as the vitreous humor, and both these liquids maintain proper pressure inside the eye and protect the eyes from the shocks and injuries. And here one more very important point, generally question is asked on this topic, what is blind spot? So at the junction of this optic nerves and the retina there is a blind spot, and there are no cones, no rods, that is no sensory cell. So if image is formed at the blind spot, then masses will not be conveyed to brain and we will not see any image if it is formed at the blind spot. And we will do one activity to show there is a blind spot in the eye. This is all about the structure of eye. Now about the working of eye. First of all, light from the object will pass through cornea, then to pupil, then through this lens, and will form inverted and very small image on the retina, and rods and cone cells in the retina will convert that signal to electric signal, and that electric signal will be carried by these optic nerves to the brain, and brain will interpret that signal and will observe the erect image of the object. Let's see how to draw the diagram of eye. As I have told you earlier, there are the three layers in the eyes: sclera, choroid and retina. For drawing three layers, what we will do? We will draw 4 circles. What's the second circle? What's the third circle? And leave the space, some space in front and some space at back. Third circle, and then the fourth circle. What the student used to do, to show the 3 layers, they draw only 3 circles. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. So we will extend these lines at back. These are the optic nerves. So all the 4 layers ends like this, and in the front we will make slightly bulged cornea like this, and to draw iris and ciliary muscle, many students used to do so many mistakes. So try to see very carefully. Extend this second line, second circle, extend this second circle in front like this, then make one U and one U on this side, then little bit smaller U like this and smaller U like this. So this part, this front part is the iris, this one is the iris, and this back side, back U is ciliary muscle. And this ciliary muscle, with the help of these small little lines, these are the suspensory ligament, is holding the lens, and retina attaches here. So this is about how we can draw the diagram of eye correctly.